Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to another fine episode here at the Artist Corner, where your friendly neighborhood illustrator, Mr. Dave Joyner, brings you high-quality drawing tutorials on a regular basis, semi-regular basis, once in a blue moon, whenever I feel like it, whenever my Mr. Dave over here in the garden lets me do one without yelling over the top of it or in the background, but I digress. This is my second attempt in a week to do a tutorial. If while recording my son is too loud, please bear with me. He's a special guy. So you can see I got my this is still volume 1, 2017 on the binding.
I love you, Dad.
I love you too, Dave. Go back to the garden. But don't make a mess. Don't rip up my flowers. Don't dig holes. Thank you. Make a little itty bitty, do something with your little army guys and toys. Make like a little village. Anyway, 2017 volume I made, and we've got my trusty vintage Star Trek Next Generation coffee mug. My black coffee. We're going to go ahead and show you our tools for today. Regular white Strathmore, or whatever this is, Stadler. And then we got the Faber-Castell artist pen, and size S, whatever it is for, I don't know, small or I don't know what that stands for, but mine's been used a bit. It's kind of bent. Not my fault. Not my fault. We'll see if we can unbend it a little. Maybe a little. Okay. Anyway, so that's my tip. Kind of a large tip, like a 1.0. And then this is our small one. This is what I advise all of you out there to get. This is a there we go. Now we're focusing. This is a 0.05 twist erase. So that means I hold on to this and my eraser will come in and out like that. And those erasers are replaceable. And then we put our lead goes in here. 0.05, so that's a pretty good pencil. And I think and just so we can recap on the book, just a standard standard illustration like Sketcher's sketchbook. And we've got page 1, and not all these pages are finished, but we got mostly finished pages. Page 1, and we'll go ahead and just give you guys a quick tour of the pages so far. So this project is an idea of mine where I take my nighttime doodling and I give it a direction. So the direction is for the purpose of creating a book that can be put onto the Amazon platform for free publication. So I can self-publish this. I do have another book, as you guys know, I'm working on for the Dragonia series, that is sitting on my drawing table, and I'm going to go edit today, and I'm editing it finally for final finishing. And if you have any hopes for seeing that soon, I hope you do. Let's focus in a little better. Man, my focus isn't. My skills here aren't doing so good today, everybody. So bear with me. So we've got this illustration. I'm sure you've seen all these, everybody. And does anybody notice the fish down here? I was assuming this idea would be quick and easy, but things seem to always happen that pull you away from your illustration in life. But the idea is still a good idea, and I'm going to continue with this book until I have finished it. We've got plenty of pages left to fill. And then when done, we can call it a coffee table book. We can call it a book on inking style. I don't know. But obviously, that's a cow, an albino cow in a heavy snowstorm. And then obviously we've got an unfinished scenery here. Just a little bit of Rocky Mountains. Booga booga. Ooh, ooh. So obviously this doesn't exist in real life, but I like the idea that I can use this, and I even left the border off here for this page. So this illustration is just me being wacky, doing my thing, exploring the form that I'm using. It's sort of a very similar drawing style on this page as it is on every other page. It's just the content has changed to a fantasy. Or is it fantasy? We don't know. Ooh, isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Far off waterfall. Big, huge thing. Tiny little trees. Let's zoom in. Give it that close-up look. So we got some trees down in here. This is where I was kind of fine-tuning the idea. There's a waterfall, big raging water coming down. Little trees along the sides of these hills in the distance. And obviously very tall mountains. There's some trees back in there. And then we got these big flowers in the way for contrast in the illustration. We zoom out, and as we can see here, we've got almost a. I don't know how many of you have been to Vista House, but you know, this is that feeling you get when you're at Vista House, where you're looking down and you can see these trees way down here at the water. But then you got these flowers that are almost, you know, too big to be real, right in your view. Anyway, zoom back out. There we go. And that's the finish. That's the illustration. This big, huge flower taking up probably a quarter to a third of the page. And so in this illustration, we can see I have shown pine trees to be super, super small in relationship to the inside of the flower, which is almost the same. So that's actually twice as big as a pine tree. So anyway, that kind of stuff might seem silly to you, but I like that kind of thing. So there's this illustration. Moving on to another fantasy piece. Sort of trees. I shouldn't really move my camera too much. Let's work with the zoom. So we've got this big gnarly oak tree, and it is I just love the shapes of oak trees. Just the way you can get like this sort of centralized hub, and then almost like veins and arteries coming off. And then we've got like a pathway going around the tree to this hole, which I've not really done a very good job of shading in yet. So there's a lot of work left to be done here. And then, as we can show here, I've actually drawn underneath the tree where that hole progresses into the home of this little furry guy here, one of my little creations.
Over here.
Sort of a
Dad.
fun piece.
Dad.
Yes, son.
I decide to stop pretending to lick gross stuff, right?
Good. Do not lick gross stuff.
Yes,
Next illustration was a requested illustration by my lovely, beautiful girlfriend. And she decided she wanted me to do a pretty little
Good night.
picture of a, obviously a, so like one of the wishing well type things. So we've got this, and we've got some big sky up here. We've got the grasses I like. And you notice in the grasses here, this is really important to remember when drawing grass, is leave spots in your grass where you can, I drew probably this piece of grass first, the one that's going behind this piece, and I left a hole in the line so that I could slide this piece up and then this one in front of that one. So that's the way that you really make grass look. Same thing over here. We've got a hole in the leaf. We put a leaf in front of that. It's important to have that effect in your grass. You can't just make a line and go call it your grass. That's not really the way to do it. Hold on here. Zooming out. Almost fell down the wishing well. Okay. We're going to lead right into our current piece, which is this one here. We have 11 minutes and we have 12 minutes on the timer, and if you've bared with me this long, let's go ahead and zoom in here really quick. See, we are doing another waterfall piece, and today we will be using these tools, but we'll go ahead and put a pause on this and make this a part 1 and part 2. So if you have enjoyed this and you want to see me working on this waterfall right here, please come back and like and subscribe and join me for part 2 of the waterfall. Thank you, and have a lovely day.